Hola guys, and que paso? What's going on? This is Hala Pablo. Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. Hey guys, I'm not a financial advisor and I don't have a crystal ball, so take everything I say with a grain of salt and do your own research, like I do my research. So, all right, let's talk about Zcash. Zcash had a little rally recently, didn't it? And what it did was it reclaimed a support line, a very strong support line, I might add. Here we are on the macro. Here we are on the micro. The macro is on the 2-day, and the micro we are on the 4-hour. Just to let you know. So these are fractal ranges. Now on the 2-day, we see on the macro, we see this prior low. This is the deepest it's gone. This is back in March of 2020, and recently what it did was mitigated this low point here. It did that back in a few days ago on January 7th, and so that was the lowest. It was a macro mitigation point, and from there we've had a little rally. We've come back up and we've taken this support line, which would be trading range support, or TRS, if you follow my technical analysis jargon. So this would be, the macro trading range support line. This would be the zero point 0.5 Fibonacci at $29. And then the resistance would be up at $33. So that's on the macro. And so down here we had this deep shakeout, which, like I said, mitigated this point that we had back in 2020. And then we've come back up since and touched the trading range support, which also happens to be the macro trend resistance of this falling wedge. So we know that falling wedges are in the long term bullish, right? And so here we sit presently. We've just come back up. We've completed this wave. And so now the question with Zcash is, are we going to go back down to macro trend support within the wedge down here and maybe do like a triple mitigation of this low area, which would be like the $18, $17 area. In this case, $18.50. Or from here, are we going to go up, maybe put up another leg and make our way on the macro to TRM, trading range midpoint of 0.5 Fibonacci, which is $29. Presently, we're at $26.34. So in order to get more of an insight of what we're doing here and look more in detail of what the bears and the bulls are doing at this battleground here, we're going to go into the micro and get like a forensic kind of going to do like an autopsy of where we are right now at this point. So now here we are, we shift our focus down to the micro, and we see that we've, this would be the line right here, the $18, that's here. Now all of this is taking place, this whole range right here is this area on the macro. This whole area here. So that's this area here. So we're looking to see what the bias is going to be. Let me get rid of this here at trading range support that we retook. And for this, we're going to go into volume. We're going to look at the VSA, the volume spread analysis, and see that, it's holding the support line, and supply and demand together are diminishing, at least on the 4-hour. Now, if we go, let's go say to the 2-hour and see, are we getting that arrowhead pattern? We still have high demand. You see how the demand bars are super high here, much higher than it's been this past few months. That could be a weak signal because we're not gaining any new ground on it, meaning that above trading range support, or TRS, or this $26 area that we are right now, despite all this revving, all these buy orders, all this bull power, we're really not finding any value above TRS, above trading range support. So if this keeps up, that's an ultimate sign of weakness, and that could bring the price back down, at least in the micro, to this midpoint area on the micro range, which would be 2252. So, and if that happens, that's the reasoning for that would be for the market makers to absorb more. Now, retail that bought this rally, bought this pump, if they drop the price from here, they're going to get spooked out and start selling, start capitulating their positions, which retail or institutional or informed interests are going to buy down here. So buy as the price retraces back to midpoint here, and it could even fall all the way back into this channel. Although I think we'll probably bounce off this micro trend resistance point here, and so this is just to show you what I'm talking about. If we were to, retreat, or rather retrace from here, then of course, like MM's going to be picking up the sell-offs, and we could fall all the way back down. Now this dotted line here would be the micro trend resistance, and then we could have a bounce from here, and we could find solid ground, which would coincide with this area, this selling climax that we had, which was here, this line here, which would be a solid, that would also be a solid support line, which would also correspond to the macro trend support. So it'll hit on the micro trend support and the macro trend, which it's going to see if it could flip it. Right now it would be resistance, but if it flipped it, it would be support, and then we could look and see then what it would do from there. Otherwise, we're going to fall back down through, and just like we just talked about, it'll go back, maybe have a triple mitigation of this low of this $18. I don't know what it's going to do. But anyway, we can look and see what's going on. Is there a catalyst somewhere for this rally that we just had? We go to Crypto Panic, news aggregate, and we look and see what's going on with Zcash. There's been a lot of FUD with Zcash, just with the privacy coins in general through Binance and OKX and these other exchanges. That the world's really the government. I say the world, the governments that govern these exchanges are really starting to crack down on privacy coins. Why? You have to understand this. It's because of the CBDCs, guys. The digital dollar. Each country is going to have its own, this world is going completely digital. It's been digital. I mean, how often do you carry around cash in your pocket? You pay at the pump. You use, everything's digital. It's a number on a machine. If you go and you pay, you do self-checkout. You're using, how many people, there's no place to put cash. So everything's already gone digital. And so the reserve, the U.S. Treasury, the treasuries and the Federal Reserves of these other countries, China included, are going completely digital, and they're all going to have their CBDC or Fed coin or whatever you want to call it. And crypto poses a big threat to this right now, especially privacy coins. So yeah, they're going to crack down. And the reasoning for this is twofold. Number one, they want to create volatility in it, so retail investors distrust the volatility, such high hyper volatility in these coins, and thus be more inclined to trust their native currency, or the fiat of whatever country they're in. So what these governments are doing is they're manufacturing FUD through rumors of delisting, and some of them have actually been delisted. Like I believe Monero was delisted recently, and Monero tanked like 37% or something like that. This is all calculated, guys. These are calculated efforts by the governments with their influence on these exchanges, these centralized exchanges, to instill intense fear, uncertainty, and doubt, particularly in the finance coins, and even more so in the privacy finance coins. And I've done a whole series on this. Check it out, Traumatized Tokens, where we focus primarily on the coins for our country, the United States, where I live, the Securities and Exchange Commissions crack down tremendously on the finance tokens, and not just Monero, not just the privacy tokens, but anything that has any kind of aroma or semblance of of like a payment platform or remittance payments or anything like that. They're really cracking down on it because they are seeing these particular coins and tokens as the biggest adversary to the CBDC, which they're intending to roll out and make totally official. So that hasn't come yet, but it's in the makes. But first they have to carpet bomb all, like the enemy. And the enemy right now is Zcash. The enemy right now is Monero. The enemy is Dash. The enemy is so many others. Like I said, you just look at my playlist for traumatized tokens and you'll see, and I'm still going to add to them because there's quite a few of them. But these are the ones on the forefront. And so, yeah, we've had such a tremendous bleed out on Zcash. Zcash has had just a mega bleed out, and it doesn't look like it's recuperating, does it? It doesn't look like it's rebounding. Although we just had this little rally, which brought it back up to TRS, but that's really just that's small potatoes compared to how much we've lost in it. And so, we've looked at how high Zcash went and like just the total bleed out. So many of these coins have corrected since then and have come up and have made like big double bottoms or like cup and handles on the macro, at least to the selling climaxes of these macro bull markets that we had last year. Bear markets. But Zcash still seems, down in the dumps, right? Down in the doldrums, down like so many coins still. And many of them have been labeled scams or dead projects or whatever. And that's exactly what they want you to think. All right, guys. So that's exactly what they want you to think. It's dead. Stay away from it. It's cursed. But the truth is that the governments, China, United States, France, whatever, they can't get rid of it. They can't get rid of Zcash. They can only instill FUD. And remember I said there's twofold. One of them is to tank them, is to create FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, so you stay away from it like rat poison. And then that makes the shining light of their CBDCs all the brighter and enticing and welcoming. And number two is they want to accumulate these coins. And before they can do that, they need retail and everyone in it, especially Zcash, which has a fixed supply of 21 million, to capitulate, to get the hell out of it so that they can begin scooping it up. What do you think they're doing now? They're accumulating. Informed interests are accumulating these coins. They create the bad news. They use it as a catalyst. And then when retail gets the hell out, they scoop it up. Their buddies scoop it up. Wall Street, informed interests. You say, oh, that's you're a conspiracy theorist. No, that's just the truth. That's how it is. That's the meat and potatoes of the bear and bull cycles. The powers that be, the club that you and I aren't a part of, they have the deep pockets. They can move these things up and down. And so they use the news as a catalyst. And if you don't think that they're in bed with the federal governments of their countries, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's all there's a hierarchy. There is the money system, the pyramidal money system, especially the global money system of the world, and they all have their mutual interest of going digital. But they have this thorn in their flesh called fucking cryptocurrencies that are decentralized and nobody can control. There's no central bank that controls these things. So what do? You got to try to destroy it. You got to try to, you do anything. It's psychological warfare, guys. And so make no mistake, there's a fixed supply. So like now Monero, on the other hand, is unlimited, I believe. They have an unlimited supply and it's completely dark. So Monero, that's why I don't push Monero. But Zcash can be unshielded. Zcash, this is why I believe Zcash is Zcash is going to be big, guys. It's going to be okay in the end because it has that decloaking or de-shielding capability for tax purposes, and that they can come to a common ground. There could be a compromise at some point with the government, and the government can allow it, and there's a fixed supply like Bitcoin. It's the same code as Bitcoin, and look at this. Now, in spite of everything that's going on, Now, I don't know who these people are, but NIM partners with Zcash to bring network layer privacy protection. This is 4 days ago. So they said they've received a $150,000 grant from Zcash Community Grants to bring the metadata privacy protections to the Zcash ecosystem. And so yeah, despite all that they want you to think that this is a dead project, I mean, they're still ramping up the security systems in it, which I think plays into the end game of eventually the federal government, when they've done enough fear and damage and enough blood, created enough blood, and their cronies have accumulated enough of this, they're going to lift the cloud over stuff like Zcash, and it's going to, with their fixed supply, it's gonna generate incredible demand, and those of us who have bought down here and who have held down here in this area, this deep area, this basically the basement, the macro basement of this area, are going to sit very, very happy with extremely lucrative positions. Now, like I said, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell the future, but it's just in my experience with trading, this all seems to indicate what this is looking at, especially with both of these micro and macro falling wedge-like structures. To me, that typifies institutional accumulation or absorption. So no, it's not dead, and vice versa. I think that very deep-pocketed, informed interests are accumulating this by proxy, and we should do the same as Wyckofians. We can't beat them, so we join them. So we sell when they sell, we buy when they buy, and we let them do all the macro killing. Let them chase out retail. Let them drop the price. Give a sheen that there's no demand in it, and let the price fall, and then we're right there to scoop it up, just like when the sharks make the kill. We're the pilot fish that eat the kill that the sharks did, and we don't have to do anything. We just swim alongside them. So that's what Wyckoff does. That's what my TA does, and what I try to show in these videos. If you got anything out of this, like, subscribe. We got more quality updates coming soon with other coins like the Internet Computer, and ApeCoin. I've got EOS. I've got coins that a lot of people don't want to talk about it. All the focus seems to be on Bitcoin. I do a lot of Bitcoin too. God knows most of my updates are Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I also believe in some of these alts. Not all the alts, but some of the alts, especially the ones that are targeted by the SEC. If your enemy doesn't like something, then the friend, that's actually that's a good thing. You want to look into that because it sees it as a threat. And so the friend of your enemy is, or the enemy rather of your enemy is your friend, basically. So your enemy's going after it because it's got something. So, and if you know your enemy can't beat it, then you want to go and you want to capitalize off all the things that your enemy, which would be the SEC to us right now, is doing, and watch them carefully and reap the benefits of their efforts. All right, guys. So, and that would be the low prices on Zcash and others that they're gifting us. They're just giving us Zcash on a silver platter and saying, hey, this is poison. You don't want it. And we're like, no, it's on a silver platter. You're giving it to us on a silver platter. It's good because you want it yourselves. So you want to control it. So, all right, guys, let me let you go. I am rambling. I've had a lot of coffee. I'm going to have more coffee. And I'm going to look at some more of these coins, and I'll let you know what I see in time if I see anything. All right, guys, like, subscribe, check out my charts on TradingView, 80 to 85% win rates, and consider checking out our trading group where we do timely updates on Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the coins that we talked about, but more in depth, and it's got a live chat. You can contact me, and I can look at whatever coins that you might be interested in and give you my 2 cents. Not financial advice, but you already knew that. All right, guys, this has gone on. This has been one of the longest videos I've done. I don't know. I've just had a lot. I'm just really excited about Zcash, I guess. All right. Well, talk to you later, guys. Have a good day and safe trading. Talk again soon. Adios. Bye-bye.